Hey guys, it's Ivy. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing my August wrap up. And in the month of August I read 15 books. I have no idea how that happened, but it feels really great to have read that many books. I have a collection of different books that I read this month: graphic novels, mangas, illustrated editions. It's really cool and I'm really excited, so let's jump right in. The first two books I'm going to talk about is Snow White and Cinderella. These both were illustrated by Camille Rose Garcia, and I read these both for the Booktubeathon, which you can check out that vlog down below. I gave both of these a 4 out of 5 stars. They were incredible. The illustrations are so beautiful. Definitely pick these up if you haven't. And I believe there is also an Alice in Wonderland edition out that I do not have that I would love to own. The next book I read is A Short History of a Girl Next Door. This book is by Jared Reck, and I honestly have no idea how to rate this. I have no idea what to even say about it. I should have expected what was going to happen, but I didn't. It's very short and it's fast, and then I got bored a little bit, but then it picked up and it just hit me like a brick wall. This book destroyed me. I'm sorry, I don't even know what to say. This book is about two people who grew up together. They were neighbors, and as they get older, the boy finds out that he actually is in love with her. However, she is having her first real boyfriend that is not him, and that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about this story. Like I said, I had no idea how to rate it. I still have no idea how to rate it, so I enjoyed it, and then I didn't, and then I did, and then I didn't, so I really don't know what to rate it. So just if you want to know why I'm so flustered about it, you could read it yourself. The next book I read is the second volume of The Ancient Magus Bride, and this is by Kor Yamazaki. I hope I said that right. This is my first manga series ever, and I did enjoy the second volume more than I did the first. However, I still gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. But this is about a girl who gets whisked away by the sleigh buggy, and then she's in this magical land. And this one, cats are a very big element in here, and I really like it. The story's getting darker, which I happen to enjoy a lot more. Definitely cannot wait to read the third version. I actually picked it up at the bookstore right after I finished this, so I will be reading that soon. Next up, I read The Hero and the Crown by Robin McKinley, and I listened to this on audiobook, and I was very disconnected with this story. I don't know if it's the format I read it in or the order I read it in, because this is the second book to The Blue Sword. However, it is a prequel. A lot of people say that you could read this one first without reading the other. However, I really don't know because I haven't read the other book yet, but I wish I would have connected with the story a little bit more. I'm thinking maybe one day I need to read it physically. And this story is about a girl named Erin, who is the daughter of this witch woman and the king, and Erin happens to be the person who has the power to wield the blue sword. Like I said, I really don't know what else to say about this book, because I really don't even know what happened. Like, I retained no information of this book, and that's really sad to me, because I feel like Robin McKinley is like staple fantasy. Like, I've read her other book, Beauty, and I really loved it, so I don't know what happened here. Next up, I read my queen, Sarah J. Maas, Catwoman Soul Stealer, and I loved this book. This is about Selena Kyle as she is younger and how she becomes Catwoman and her backstory and history, and it is so fantastic. Like, you get to meet Batwing and Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, and they tear up the town and fight Batwing, and it is so awesome. I really love this book. It was so cool to see what Sarah did with the characters in her own way, and I highly recommend picking this one up. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, of course. Then I read The Sisters of Winterwood by Raina Rossner, and this book is about two sisters, and one of the sisters is a swan and the other sister is a bear, and the story is about love and heartache and family and tragedy and getting put back together again. And I really love this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I highly recommend picking this one up. There are a lot of things that happen under the surface of this book but are very important. Libba's little sister Leia happens to fall under the trap of this man who mysteriously shows up in town, and they're basically like kind of like selling fruit, and the fruit have these magical properties to them, and it puts Leia under this spell. Libba keeps trying to get Leia to like wake up and like realize what's going on, but she just refuses to, and she's getting abused and neglected, and it's just so heartbreaking to watch a sister have to watch her sister go through that. And this book really hit home for me, and I loved it. Like, I really loved it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 versus a 5-star because I felt like it could have just been a little shorter. However, I do believe this to be a standalone, so that's kind of why it has to be long. I really think that if you are a fan of Winter Song, that this book will be your jam. Pick this up. Like, I really will recommend this to everyone. It is a dark, gripping, twisted fairy tale, and I really loved it. Next up, I listened to The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertelli, and I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars, I believe. I listened to this on audiobook and I could connect with it, but I wasn't like fully immersed into it. I thought it was okay. It wasn't my favorite book by any means, but I did enjoy it. And this book is about Molly, and Molly has had so many crushes. However, she doesn't ever make a move on any of them, and that's the part that I connected with. This book has a lot of representation in it, as she is a daughter of 2 women, and her sister is also a lesbian, and lots of representation. I thought it was funny, it was entertaining, I enjoyed myself listening to it, that it was fun watching Molly finally talk to her crush, and not just one, she ended up having 2, and it was just a fun, fast-paced read. Next up, I read Snot Girl, Green Hair Don't Care, Volume 1 by Brian O'Malley, and I give this a 3 out of 5 stars. The illustrations in it are just so colorful, and they're so beautiful, and holy hell does this leave you with a cliffhanger. Like, I need the next book now. This graphic novel is about Lottie, and Lottie is a fashion blogger, and she has a secret that people don't know about her life, and she has really bad allergies, and she's always snotting all over the place, which makes for an entertaining story. However, she goes to this new doctor, and he ends up giving her medication, and then it causes for like hallucinations because she drinks on the medication, and it's just really cool. I really love the illustrations, and I read it super fast. So if you are into that sort of thing, then I recommend picking this one up. The next 3 books I binged, and I had to read them all together because they were so good, which is Jenny Han's The Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer. These books were so amazing. I love Jenny Han's To All the Boys I Loved Before, and I got these from my friend Tracina for my birthday, and I had to read them right away because the covers are so beautiful. And also To All the Boys I Loved Before just came out on Netflix, so I was like, of course I need more Jenny Han in my life. I recommend this series to everyone. It is so amazing. This series is about Belly, and every summer her mother and her brother go to the summer house with her mother's best friend and her 2 sons, and there's a huge love triangle going on here, I am not going to lie. And so if you're not into that sort of thing, you might not be into this book because the love triangle is between 2 brothers, but I freaking loved it. I could never choose which one I wanted her to be with, like, throughout the whole thing. Like, one's angry and broody and the other one's sweet and kind, and oh gosh, these books, this just became one of my favorite series of all time, and I just want everyone to read them so that I can talk to everybody about how amazing they are. The next book I read was Haunting the Deep by Adriana Mather, and this was the sequel to How to Hang a Witch. I didn't enjoy this one as much as I enjoyed How to Hang a Witch. This is them on the Titanic, and there's ghosts and mystery and mayhem, and I don't want to say too much as it is a sequel, but like I said, I think I gave this a 3, maybe even a 2. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Like I said, it is the sequel to How to Hang a Witch, and I did love How to Hang a Witch, so I definitely recommend that book. maybe you guys will like this one more than me. It's set Titanic-esque, which I thought I was going to love. However, it just fell a little flat for me, so I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to, but I still really recommend reading the first book. It's really good. I read The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. I am currently on my Kingdom of Ash reread. This is my third reread of this series and I love it. I started with The Assassin's Blade, the prequel, this time around because I just felt like reading them in order, because the first 2 times I read the series I read Throne of Glass and then The Assassin's Blade, but I thought it would be a lot of fun to start with the prequel and read this one first, and I was right, it was. I of course gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I totally loved it, and it was so much more fun like the 3rd time around, because it's like you know it's gonna happen, but then you pick up on all these little hints that she gives out throughout the whole book, and it is so cool. I love it. Everyone please read it. The final book that I read in the month of August was Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman. Thunderhead is the sequel to Scythe, and Scythe is about this dystopian world, and in this world people cannot die. They have like near death, like they die but then they're revived, like it's crazy. However, the only way that you really can be gone forever is if you are gleaned by a scythe, which these people were created to keep order and balance. Scythe is about these 2 teenagers who get picked to be apprentices for Scythe Fair Day, and it is so amazing. One of the best books I have ever read. I highly recommend it. I gave Scythe a 5 out of 5. I gave Thunderhead a 4 out of 5. I wasn't as enthralled with Thunderhead as I was with Scythe. Like, I was totally blown away by Scythe, and that's not to say this book isn't good, because it was still really good. Like, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. However, it was just lacking a little bit, you know, that second book syndrome. That's kind of what this had. However, the cliffhanger is so intense that you are going to want that 3rd book like ASAP. I cannot wait for the next one to come out. I highly recommend picking up the series if you haven't yet, and the audiobooks are really good. I recommend those. There you guys have it. That is my August wrap up. I cannot even believe it. 15 books is incredible. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys read in the month of August and how much you read. Even if you read 1 book, that is still amazing. Let me know what that 1 book was. As always, I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye!